So we have a little shooter game, and I can move my shooter around, and I can click on the shooter to shoot, and the bullet shoots. We don't deal with multiple bullets right now. In fact, it's a little funky. If you try to shoot again, it just kind of comes back to the top of the bullet. But let's not worry about that for now. Instead, let's make it kind of fun. Let's add a target, and let's try to shoot the target to get points. Okay. So I'm going to add a couple things. One I'm going to add is an image sprite, and I'm going to start him up near the top left. And since we're building an Android app, let's go ahead and load in a picture of an iPhone. Okay, let's shoot some iPhones. All right, so I just loaded in the iPhone picture. There it is. It's a nice big target for us. Okay. And so let's call that guy, this image sprite, let's call it the target sprite. And let's get rid of the 1. Okay, so we need that guy, and then we also need a label to show the score. Okay, so I'm just going to add a label down here. Whoops, grabbed the wrong thing. I grabbed an image. Okay, I can get rid of him. And I'm going to grab a label, and this is going to be our score. So I'm going to start the score at 0 and rename this the score label. Okay, and we'll worry about making it prettier. Maybe we'll get the score big 25.0 font size at least. So there's our score, and I don't know what happened over here as far as running the app. But so we're going to have a score. We're going to have our target, and for now we're going to make this guy just go straight across. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add another clock. So I'm going to add a clock component, and it's clock 2, and I'm going to call this the target clock. Really, the other clock we're using to deal with the bullet, but I'm going to call this guy target clock. And he is going to kind of control the movement of the phone. Okay, so I've got my clock, and I've got my score label, and I've got a target. Okay, so let's first just worry about, let's make that target move all the time. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my blocks editor, grab my target clock, grab my timer. Okay, and almost like we did with the bullet. With the bullet, we want to move the bullet up. We're going to make our target go left to right. Okay, so all I'm going to do is continually change the x coordinate of the target sprite. Okay, so I'm going to grab a plus, because left to right means make the x coordinate bigger. Okay, so I'm going to every time change the x coordinate of the target to what it was, and I'm going to add 10. Okay, and watch the display over there, because my target's going to start moving. Okay, it's going pretty slow, and we'll leave it there for now. We can always change the timer interval of the target clock. So right now I've got a game which is kind of fun. I can shoot at the target. I can move this guy around to catch the target, and now I need to deal with when the bullet hits the target. Okay, so I've got this timer. Remember, we used the edge reached to get rid of the bullet once it hit the top. Well, we kind of almost want to do the same thing, but in this case we want to do a collision. Okay, and the bullet has, just like it has edge reached, it has collided with. Okay, and actually this only happens on that first collision, and it won't get triggered again until the bullet's no longer touching it. Okay, so when the bullet collides with something, and right now there's only one target, so we don't have to worry about dealing with who got collided with. We know it's the phone, right, the target sprite. But when the bullet collides with the phone, simply put, I want to change and make my score 1 more. Okay, so I'm going to do it pretty simple to start. I'm just going to change my score label, and it's going to equal itself +1. Okay, so every time I touch, or every time the bullet collides with another object, in this case our target, we're going to add a point. So let's start this guy up again. Okay, it should bring the phone back to the left, and then the phone should start moving to the right, and we should be able to shoot it and get points. Okay, and then we'll try to clean up a little bit. Like we want to make sure the bullet kind of goes away after it hits that thing. So right when it comes up, I'm going to start shooting, or at least move my guy over. Or let's just wait a little bit here. Okay, there's my bullet. He's going to miss. Somehow I got my score as 1. So I've got a problem. I got a bug in my program, because every time I shoot, it's getting a given a point, whether I hit the thing or not. Okay, so if the bullet collides with something, it's giving me a point. So what could be my bug here? Well, I think the problem is, you'll notice when I shoot, the bullet kind of starts off right a little below the point of the shooter. In fact, what's happening is the bullet's colliding with the shooter, and that's causing a point to be added. Remember I said there's only one thing we might collide with? Well, there's actually 2 things the bullet can collide with. And of course we don't want to count a point when it collides with the shooter. Now we could check this other, and this will tell us which object we're dealing with. But let's not do that for now. What we really need to do is, when we move the bullet, so when we click on this, we relocate the bullet, and we're relocating it a little too low. Okay, so instead of the bullet right when it starting out right there, I'm going to make it be a little bit less, right? In fact, like 20 less. So I'm going to grab a minus. Oh, sorry, I grabbed a equals. I'm going to grab a minus, and I'm going to grab a 20, because remember, the y coordinate gets smaller to go up. And what I want to do is, I'm going to set my bullet coordinate to the y value minus 20. So in other words, right when I click this guy, move the bullet to the same y coordinate as the shooter, but minus 20, so it should be up there high enough. And just to make sure, let's make it like 40. See how that goes. So let's just test that part of it. If I click on him, the bullet, 40 might be a little too much. Okay, so let's make it like 20, the one I started with. So now if I click on him, yeah, it's going pretty good. Okay, so that's good, minus 20. So now I believe, yeah, notice my score's not going up when I shoot. Okay, so let's just head over to the side here, and let's see if I do collide with the phone, my score changes 7. So I think I've got it how I want it to work. Okay, in the next segment we'll clean this up a little bit.